We've all seen the highlights, the endless loops of championships, MVP speeches, and impossible alley-oops. But we forget the silence. We forget the moments when the spotlight became a searchlight, when the applause turned to vitriol, when the undeniable force of nature that is LeBron James found himself checked by the system. The story of the king isn't just a victory lap, it's a decades-long tactical chess match. And a terrifying, unspoken question has always hung in the air. Was the NBA ever truly ready for a power it couldn't control? This is every time the league tried to check him. From day one, the script was written. He was the chosen one, the 18-year-old savior of a dying franchise drafted by his hometown team. The system didn't just welcome LeBron James, it constructed itself around him. He was the ultimate marketing tool, a basketball savant destined to fill arenas and sell sneakers. For 7 seasons in Cleveland, he followed the blueprint. He played with unmatched physical grace and intelligence. He led bad teams to the finals. He became the face of the sport. But it was a conditional embrace. The system needed him to be the next Jordan, the loyal, solitary hero, building his own kingdom within the established walls. But what happens when a hero decides to design his own kingdom? What happens when a player's ambition outgrows the narrative the league needs? That collision was inevitable, and the shockwaves would redefine the balance of power in professional sports forever. With those 10 words, the world shifted. The decision. To casual fans, it was a dramatic TV event. To the NBA system, it was heresy. This wasn't just a star leaving. This was a direct, televised rejection of the old guard. He didn't wait to be traded or recruit individual free agents. He, along with Dwayne Wade and Baj Kois, colluded not to compete, but to dominate. The system's unwritten laws, stay with the team that drafted you, win on your own terms, were explicitly broken. The check came immediately. The league and the media that amplifies its narrative crafted a new villain. The king was now the traitor. Every misstep was magnified. The lack of an early championship was proof of his weakness. The structure of the league enabled this narrative. The system wanted you to despise him for breaking its heart. This backlash wasn't just a random fan reaction. It was the first defining moment the system pushed back hard against a player trying to claim his own agency. The backlash didn't break him, it fueled him. 2 championships with the Heat solidified his place. But as his dominance continued, a more subtle battle emerged. A battle over how the game itself was policed. We all remember the whispers, LeBron's rule, an unwritten guideline of refereeing. Because he was a 6'9", 250-pound locomotive, contact that would send another superstar to the line was simply part of the game. He took a beating that few others in history did, and the whistle often stayed silent. The argument became, he's too strong for traditional fouls. This was the system's physical check. And when he did react to the continuous, uncalled physical play, the system, via its media mouthpieces, labeled him a flopper, a master manipulator. Damned if he absorbs it, damned if he points it out. This narrative wasn't accidental. It served a purpose, to prevent a single player's physical force from entirely dictating the league's aesthetic. The system prefers elegance over pure power. Even his rare discipline was scrutinized. When he was suspended, like in 2021 for an elbow to Isaiah Stewart, it wasn't just about the act. It was framed as the king losing his cool, a crack in the facade. A reminder, even the king is subject to the rules when the rules allow for it. It was a visible moment of the system's ultimate authority. The message: do not forget who controls the game. LeBron's battle wasn't just physical or narrative. His most disruptive impact was structural. With the decision, he didn't just move, he created a model: player empowerment. He showed stars that they didn't have to wait. They didn't have to rely on ownership to build a winner. They had the power to dictate their own futures. This is where the league's foundational fear lives. The NBA is a business, and that business relies on a balance of competitive parity, star marketability, and crucially, stability. The player empowerment narrative that LeBron championed is by design unstable for the established order. Every star that forces a trade, every super team assembled via free agency collusion traces its lineage directly back to LeBron James. And the system, the league office, hates this lack of control. They counter with rule changes, luxury tax penalties, and media spin, all designed to make these power moves more difficult. The creation of the play-in tournament, an attempt to discourage star-driven tanking. The new trade rules to limit mobility. When LeBron empowers players, the system responds by trying to shrink the kingdom. This is the modern check. It's not a dramatic moment on the court. It's the quiet, administrative struggle for the soul of the business. A continuous no to the idea that a single individual's influence should rival the collective power of 30 owners. So, did the checks work? Did the system win? If they did, then what was 2016? Returning to Cleveland after all the backlash and betrayal, fighting from a 3-1 deficit against a 73-win team. This wasn't just a championship, it was a countercheck of monumental proportions. He didn't just win, he shattered the narrative of his own creating. The ultimate villain became the ultimate hero by fulfilling the very promise he broke. And that's the final impact. The league tried to check him, but he simply changed the game so the checks no longer applied. They couldn't break his body, so they attacked his narrative. He changed his narrative. They tried to restrict his physical play, so he made himself smarter, stronger, and more resilient than anyone in history. They tried to control his power, so he created a blueprint for all players to challenge that control. When we look at LeBron James, we don't just see a basketball player, we see a mirror. We see the terrifying reality that the established order in any field is always one undeniable, unbreakable individual away from collapsing. The NBA tried to check LeBron, and in doing so, they only revealed exactly how much they needed him. Because a king doesn't exist within a system, he redefines it. Fade to black. The words "subscribe for more stories of the game" appear briefly.